All right. Hello, everyone. Good evening, or good morning, or good afternoon. Welcome to this live stream with Curve Finance and Ton Foundation. So today we have quite an amazing lineup here. So we have Michael, founder of Curve Finance, Vlad, DeFi lead at Ton Foundation, and me, Elena, ecosystem lead at Ton Foundation as well. So guys, very happy to be here with you. How are you doing? How's your mood?
Yeah, good.
Awesome. That's one of our streams to uncover all of the features about collaboration with Curve and Tone. And we're going to show today our participants of the competition. So we would love to have stable swaps on Tone natively. And today we're going to speak in more like a family way about it.
Right. Michael, first question to you, quite an unexpected one. On the scale from 0 to 100, how are you excited about this collaboration between Curve Finance and Tom Foundation?
Oh yeah, absolutely, 100% excited. It's very interesting to see as our, I would say, first non-EVM move. We historically have been building on EVM only, and we're trying to find ways to launch on non-EVM chains, and probably probably this opportunity is the best way to do it.
All right. Now, I mean, for us, it's indeed an honor to be the first among such partners of Curve Finance. Michael, if you already touched upon the historical part, let's say, so could you please dive a bit deeper into the past, into how it all started with Curve Finance? Like when and how did you get this idea of building Curve Finance?
Yeah, definitely. I'm a DeFi user since 2018, I think. I started with MakerDAO, essentially borrowing DAI against Ether at the time. And obviously, I did that not to leverage, but to actually spend my ETH without spending ETH. And well, when I did it, obviously there was a need to swap between DAI and USDC. So I was essentially borrowing DAI, swapping to USDC on Coinbase, and withdrawing USD by redeeming USDC. And even on Coinbase, the slippage was a little bit too high, even for the tiny amounts. And on chain as well, there was, of course, liquidity on Uniswap 1 between DAI and Ether, so pretty high slippage for that. There was liquidity in Oasis Exchange, which is kind of a home-built exchange by MakerDAO back then. Well, also didn't work all too great, I would say. Still wasn't kind of a satisfactory performance. So the need was very obvious to me. And at the same time, I was essentially playing with some trading bots, trying to, trading on different centralized or semi-centralized exchanges. And those algorithms kind of inspired the algorithm for StableSwap. So the idea of how to do it came to me in September 2019, and later I've put that in Python code to basically simulate it with historical stablecoin prices. Looked very promising, so I coded it up in Viper, because Viper was very Pythonic language, and Uniswap 1 was written in Viper at the same time, also language created by Vitalik himself. So seemed to be a pretty good choice. And I think smart contracts were ready in November. Then I wrote the first UI and launched it in January 2020. So that's how Curve started, with StableSwap, just with one pool. Interestingly enough, it was already a pool with yield-bearing tokens. So it was not with bear stablecoins; it was with stablecoins which were sitting on Compound. And actually, this pool is still up, so you cannot really shut down the pools. and
they didn't know that this is the yield-bearing stablecoin.
yeah. So for users, it was at least for users who swap, it was just swapping between DAI and USDC. But actually, these were yield-bearing stablecoins, deposit tokens on Compound. So apart from swapping, they earned interest from Compound. And of course, this eats gas, and actually could be quite a lot of gas, but it didn't matter at the time because Ethereum transactions were very cheap at that time. So maybe, I don't know, a few cents, maybe a few tens of cents, even for complex transactions. So it was fine.
There's actually was like no DeFi at all. There was like interception of DeFi on Ethereum. We have this DeFi Llama. It's like the analytical tool for all of the DeFi. But before the DeFi Llama, do you remember that was DeFi Station?
There was DeFi Pulse.
DeFi Pulse and DeFi Station for the Binance Smart Chain. DeFi Pulse before even the DeFi Station. Yeah, that's. I remember those times. Could you give a few words about you? What was before Curve?
Yeah, so before Curve, I co-founded NuCypher, which today actually merged efforts with Keep to make Threshold Bitcoin, TBTC. But it wasn't about that at the time. It was about kind of a decentralized network for granting permissions to read encrypted data, essentially that, using proxy encryption. So it was a very, very interesting project, but it kind of very, very much deviated from the original, from its original roots into DeFi as well, because like everything happening on blockchains turns into DeFi. So, and actually before that, by education, I'm a physicist. Graduated MIT, then did a PhD in Australia, working with ultra cold atoms, and after that, I went to the United States, thinking to do some startup. And well, originally I did not. Originally I worked at LinkedIn, but then co-founded NuCypher, and later I moved out of the United States and founded Curve.
No, very exciting story. And actually, just probably as with the most brilliant products, like in general, it all starts with your personal need, with your personal pain, just as in your case. Cool. And so I'm just wondering, Michael, like, okay, so you started with this pain, you implemented the solution back in 2020. But how did you grow it to being like the second largest DEX by TVL? Like, what's
yeah, that's actually interesting. Why? How it happened? I think it all happened because of token economics of CRV, and the idea for that was basically inspired by something happening in stock markets. Like I would say the way how traditional stock markets work not correctly, or I would say they have incentives of people who vote for decisions not really aligned with long-term visions of the companies. And my thought was maybe I should make a token or like governance system where token holders who vote are actually aligned with the future of the system. For that, I changed it so that the weight of the vote is not simply the number of tokens, but number of tokens multiplied by time after which you can potentially unlock your tokens. So you lock the tokens, you cannot really move them anywhere. You can only vote. And then your vote weight is bigger if you lock for a longer time. Well, this lock time was not unlimited, so I limited it to 4 years. But this was essentially the core of how the project governance works. And this token economics apparently got not just governance properties, but interest in economic properties. And I think overall that was very very good for growth of the project. And of course, we never stopped doing something new. So in the middle of 2021, we've got first crypto pools, and later we've got the stablecoin and lending protocol based on the same algorithm. But I think the most famous part, and the part which gained most adoption, at some point Curve was actually the biggest DeFi project by TVL. It was actually the stable swap, so the algorithm for swapping between stable coins or tokens with the same denomination, like one sort of Ethereum versus another, like Ethereum versus staked Ethereum, stuff like that.
So the general idea was to lower the price impact due to swaps. But then I remember 2021 and 22, people around start talking like there is a curve governance wars. And could you give us a few words about that? Why people mention it like governance wars? With the same the parallel question, why the whole DeFi industry was like and relied to the CRV as an indicator of the whole DeFi ecosystem. So I heard some thoughts like, if the CRV not gonna rise, like we're end with the DeFi. So there was fully interconnected with the CRV and CRV like indicator for the whole DeFi interception those times.
Right. Yeah. So essentially, if you add liquidity to the pool, as a liquidity provider, you earn not just part of the fees which the pool is making, but also CRV incentives. And the amount of CRV incentives is determined by votes. So if I vote a little bit towards this pool gets a little bit. If somebody else votes a little bit also to this pool, then the pool gets a little bit more incentives. So even small votes matter. Like even tiny vote would get at least tiny amount of incentives. And that appeared to be a very, very powerful system. Of course, this also got some unanticipated things, like votes started being sold. So one could buy votes by essentially providing.
So the people
votes
try to bribe with the votes.
Exactly, yes, and that was not anticipated, but still, it kind of got industrialized in some sense, and yeah, I think that still works. So I think it turns out to be a very interesting system, some governance system which goes much beyond boring one token, one vote.
As with all of these inventions, after that, a few protocols was launched like StakeDAO and Convex. And could you also tell a few words about that? So if user don't want to stake their CRV to receive more rewards, they can participate and use additional protocol, which became kind of a vault for
they're like wrappers for CRV, and the idea is simple. It actually was first implemented with YEarn. Project owns certain amount of locked tokens, and with locked tokens they actually also have so-called boosts. So they if you have more VE CRV, more locked tokens, you actually get more incentives going towards you than towards others. So you boost your incentives by that. And basically these projects, they manage to acquire CRV to lock, and then they use these locked CRVs to boost production of CRV to people who deposit to the pools through them. And the first project to do that was actually YEarn, but then also StakeDAO and Convex. And I guess Convex did a very interesting thing. So they decided not to focus on just a few pools. They said we will boost all the pools. And actually that was a correct thing, because if you are not boosting some pool, you're actually missing out on some of the potential CRV incentives you could make. So they kind of taxed the boost a little bit, and I think that's what actually led to very quick growth of Convex, and it acquired locked CRV, and locked CRVs are essentially forever. So you may do something to get CRV and lock, but if you got them, you lock them. You can lock them forever. You can extend, and they just stay with that project. So and I think Convex played this really well. But other projects, other two projects, YEarn and StakeDAO, are also pretty big, and also there are a few projects who own their own CRV, and they play the governance games this way.
Right. But then, Michael, so going back to actually the main value, like the unique value proposition that you kind of came up with back in 2019, like I understand the governance is super important. You believe it's one of the most successful, one of the ingredients of success of the product itself. But what is let's say, what's the magic around the formula that you
I think it was the very first ever concentrated liquidity. And so concentrated liquidity was essentially invented by Curve, but it was not the same kind of concentrated liquidity as we now see on Uniswap 3. It is something which is very, very smooth by design. So it's a very, continuous distribution of liquidity, which is concentrated around the peg, and you kind of parameterize that. But yeah, I think just the fact that it is concentrated, and it was first concentrated liquidity, I think this was what was the most important behind this innovation.
And so what's the actual benefit for the user in this case? Like how much?
Well, I mean, very low slippage, very efficient.
How lower is it compared
Well,
to?
I mean, kind of factor of 100 to factor of 1,000 smaller than in a naive Uniswap 1, Uniswap 2 kind of bonding curve, which is what was up at the time. So basically, several orders of magnitude improvement, and earnings of the pool were increased by kind of the same factor.
Right. So are you still like number one actor across all DEXs for stable swaps? Do you consider yourselves one?
I guess so. Of course, there are other projects who do that, or any project which does concentrated liquidity in one or other form essentially does that. But yeah, I think that's correct.
Right. And what is like overall the current traction of Curve? Like, could you bring up some numbers?
Well, I guess it's we have about 2 billion TVL. Most of that is stablecoin swaps, or swap between tokens of the same denomination, and some of them are stablecoins, some of them are yield-bearing tokens, some of them are essentially staked ethers, liquid staking, restaking, stuff like that, and tokenized bitcoins. So basically things like that. But also we created our own stablecoin, because we actually not really about stablecoin swaps, but we are more about applying automatic market making algorithms for different sorts of things. So we applied automatic market making for liquidations, and basically the positions, borrowing positions can be not just liquidated but also unliquidated using a special automatic market maker. So that's something which powers CRV USD, and yeah, I would say we've been in the test phase for it for quite some time, and I think we're probably going to put the staked CRV USD as a necessary ingredient to scale it.
Right. No, I mean it's actually very fascinating, to see how all these factors like combined together brought such a success for your platform in the market, like generally. Like, wow. Thank you very much for sharing that. So now I suggest moving to the most exciting part, at least for me, being part of the Ton ecosystem. So like Michael, we're actually very, very happy to welcome you on Ton with this recent collaboration of Curve and Ton Foundation. So my first question probably is to both of you guys. Michael, to you first, like what's your current vision? What's your view on the Ton ecosystem in general? Like what potential do you see? Like how do you assess the DeFi landscape on Ton? Because you're kind of an external person to the ecosystem, and then I'll ask Vlad the same because he's an insider here. So would be interesting to compare your views.
Yeah, well, I think it's a very exciting ecosystem just because of the potential user base. It's very large, but it's also very young. So, and for such a young ecosystem, it is, I would say, very challenging to build sophisticated DeFi over there. And also, it kind of needs a lot of work to on safety tools and everything. So I think it will take some time until a very sophisticated DeFi will be built natively on it. However, a simple DeFi is already very, very useful, and already can work there, and already can work as a kind of as a way to bridge DeFi from other places to Ton. So I, at least from my perspective, I view it this way. So one can bridge yield-bearing tokens to the chain from different places, right? And yield-bearing tokens, they essentially correspond to more and more of the token they represent. So yield-bearing dollar, for example, right? So it corresponds to more and more dollars over time. So if you bridge that, in principle, you can hold it on Ton itself. But just holding is not something very useful, because you need to quickly enter and exit out of it, and you cannot really mint and redeem it while the source of it is on a different chain. But you actually can swap. So if you have a stable swap, which allows to swap between yield-bearing token and any other stable coin like USDT, that would be already very useful for anyone. So you can actually bridge yield from all other chains, and that I think is very powerful, because you have such a large user base, and I think Ethereum didn't really yet work with vast user base of like small size users essentially. So maybe different methods are needed to get it adopted. Maybe yield can be gamified. So, for example, I've heard quite a few projects are starting to think about that. Like there is a project called YieldTon, for example, which essentially gamifies yield, but could be multiple things I cannot even think of. So I don't know. Maybe maybe some simple DeFi plus bridging stuff originating from a more sophisticated DeFi is enough to build very exciting projects without waiting until the ecosystem becomes more mature.
Right. Okay. So it's actually mostly distribution that you are most excited about. Well, the size of the audience that we could potentially onboard, and this is definitely an open question how exactly we are going to do it. And it's great that we can try to do it together. Right.
Right. Yes. And
Okay.
most importantly, it's not a distribution of tokens. It's a distribution of essentially what the DeFi products give.
Yeah, no, exactly. Vlad, what's your 2 cents here? How do you see the potential of Ton in general, even like in isolation from Curve yet, being, I mean, DeFi lead, directing all of us towards a great future of DeFi on Ton. What's your view here?
So we started with history of the Curve at all, and you heard it was just a simple stable swap at the start. Then we have more pools. Then we have more ecosystem integrations like with Stake DAO and the Convex. Now we have a lending protocol and the stable coin on Curve with the soft liquidation. And that's not as the idea behind this, how the Ethereum grows. There's a full ecosystem which is interconnected with all protocols, and the protocols built on top of the protocols. And this is, in general, help to build like the core products of the ecosystem. So if you go to DeFi Llama right now, and if you're going to open any chain with a DeFi, you're going to find them like a top 10 protocols, which are the same on any chain, on Ton, on Arbitrum, on Solana, on Tron. And there's mostly, what are these protocols? There's IMM protocols, including all of the types, CPMM, CFMM, CLMM. There's the lending protocols, like a separate niche. There's also a CDP, psychological deposition protocols. There's also bridges and the liquidity staking on proof of stake chains. And that's is like DeFi heart of any chain. And right now on Ton, we are in the stage of building this heart. So once we will finish it, we have like the directions with the competitors of each direction. It will be possible to build on top of these protocols. And there is the general idea for that. That's why we need the stable swap, and that's why we have this stream, and that's why we invited Mitchell for this collaboration. Right now on Ton, we are really very young, so it's just started. We have like 30 projects on the DeFi Llama, so the few of them already on the top, and there is all of these type of the protocols which I mentioned before, but we didn't have the CFMM in the IMM niche. And the way is how we would love to build it is to do not just the stable swaps, to build on top of the stable swaps the other features, anything. So imagine example is a Curve, and with Curve we have, as I said, the lending protocol. Also we have the CRV USD, and I know that Mitchell have more plans in the future for Curve and for the future developments. But on the top of the Curve, we have Convex, we have Stake DAO, we have Yarn Finance, and there's fully interconnected ecosystem, which give us not only the ability to swap of the stable assets, stable coins, the synthetic Bitcoin. It also give us opportunities to yield, opportunities to store crypto, to hedge us, to lend and borrow, to use this like a stable coins. And that's the general idea why we would love to do this collaboration with Mitchell and establish this competition in which we have the teams for which one we're going to give together with Mitchell the license to like will be baked by Curve and baked by the Ton Foundation to do this on the Ton. But it means not only the stable swaps, and I know there are guys who are participating in our competition are watching us. So there's not about only the stable swaps. There's about the whole ecosystem and the future growth and the development on top of the stable swap. Like the stable swap just allow us to do the really small things, but we need more. We need also the stables, we need the synthetic assets, we need leverage yield farming, and that's the general idea. I think we need like from half of the year to year to establish a really strong and powerful DeFi ecosystem with coverage for each direction and the protocols which are built on the top of the main heart of the DeFi. So that's my thoughts and that's my general idea regarding the Ton. That's of course regarding the second thing, the user base. It's amazing that we have this connection with the Telegram and we're able to bring users. And like Mitchell said, the yield front is a good example to gamify using of the yield-bearing stablecoins on Ton for just retail users in a Telegram. That's amazing. That's like covering our motto, the crypto in every pocket. But there's also require to have the powerful ecosystem on the back. So we can, of course, invite people to use the top turn applications or any games, but to give the financial tools for the users, we need to be based on something. And that's right now the time where we building this foundation on which we're going to be based in the future with our yield opportunities and the feature from DeFi protocols, which will be gamified and offered for the users in a simple form, like one-click investment applications or any savings applications. That's my general idea and the strategy here.
Right. No, I mean, thank you very much for this overview. And Michael, thanks for sharing your thoughts. It's all very, very well said, very beautifully. But let's probably talk in more detail, in more practical terms about this partnership that we've recently launched, right? So what exactly does it mean? What are we doing now together? What does it mean for Ton in the short term, not in the long term, when we will finally, be able to build this DeFi Lego on Ton? But like, what does this collaboration mean exactly? Well, probably it's
That's
for you.
the question for me. So
if you want to take it, yes.
Yeah, that will be like the first part. The collaboration is to build a competition, start a competition, invite really strong and powerful teams, which are able to develop the stable swap with features which can leverage the stable pools, and that's what we talked about before. There is a general idea is not a hackathon, so we even didn't help with the tech on Ton. That's a real one competition. So our idea for that was, if you're a strong team, if you can prove that you're strong, if you have the previous traction, if you know the Ton stack, you're able to compete. You can do based on your own resources, and that was the general idea. In the end of the competition, while we will have a live charging session, we will announce the great prizes for that and the great collaboration. But that's only first time when I'm saying this. And what it means that first, what we need the powerful teams, and then we can help them to grow. And that was the idea. So I don't know if also anyone to add a few words about the competition.
Yeah, so basically, like, if we put it simply, it's basically building like two different products, right? So like choosing two best teams out of this competition that using Michael's formula, the formula of code finance, will basically build like two new projects from scratch, right? On Ton.
Yeah, this is it. So do not
Pretty
choose
much.
only one protocol. It's good to have the competitors inside of the direction. So like right now we have DDoS and StunFi, and there's two IMM protocols which are competing for the users for the Toncoin holder. The same idea is regarding the CFMM protocols.
Yeah, I guess that's a nice way to build the kind of the fundamental Lego pieces.
Okay, so those teams, they get like technical support, they get the formula, they need to, well, implement it on Ton actually, right? And then any other types of support those teams could potentially get from Code Finance or from the side of Ton Foundation. Could you please elaborate on that, guys?
So from the Ton Foundations, we have a lot of things around. We even have like the full campaign, how to help these projects grow on Ton. But I don't want to go into details. That will be our like main punch and the main part during the live charging session, like what's the prizes and what the protocols get from us. And I know we agreed with Curve regarding the mentorship and some advisory things, but Mihail, if you want to add something, you can.
Yeah, I guess. Well, I guess you pretty much said it all, but I just can say that projects who are selected as most suitable for building, apart from everything mentioned, they can get probably access to new related things to make their product stronger in the future as well. But yeah, I think it's very exciting opportunity for all people participating.
Right. Do you think anyone could ever repeat the success of Code Finance?
Who knows? Like it's possible. It's just would be a different recipe, because it's you cannot really repeat the same thing every single time. It's different on, and I think like with especially with Ton ecosystem, it is very different from Ethereum, and maybe the approaches are also different. So maybe kind of maybe gamification is different even for governance. So so who knows what is exactly the optimal way over there.
No, yeah, 100%. And also like those guys that are participating in the competition, I think like several of them have already built like very cool Telegram mini apps.
Yeah, exactly.
Like not only with like stable swaps, but with some
Mhm.
other like interesting onboarding mechanics, which is exactly what we are looking for in the Ton.
Right. So really, it's it should be some intellectual work from the team to figure out what exactly is the most suitable to make it interesting for people to participate, to make it grow, to have, let's say, to have decentralized governance, or is decentralized governance something which like to which degree should the governance be decentralized, that kind of stuff. So that's I guess up for multiple teams to figure out, and it's a fully like open field to play.
Yeah, well, we will see. We'll see how they'll handle that. But okay, Vlad, a question to you. Can we somehow like measure the potential impact? Like, can we talk about specific metrics that we can boost for the Ton DeFi with the emergence of these two new products driven by Michael's formula?
So we definitely have a future plan to get more stable coins and the more stable assets. We had the Ton teleport, for example, which going to bring us BTC from Bitcoin to Ton. It's the bridge based on the validators. We're speaking also with other partners to bring the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and the stable coins. And that's like the stable swaps is the place where it's more efficient to build the pools with this kind of assets. For me, the measure of a success, I think like if in a half of the year we're gonna have at least $50 million in TVL on those protocols, and in a 1 year it's like at least $100 million. But the good achievable goal, which we can expect like in a year, as $500 million, especially in those protocols in the TVL. So that's the like from the one side the minimum achievable goal. From the other side, to have this TVL on chain in these protocols, we need to have also good opportunities for the liquidity providers. So they do not provide liquidity just for free if we ask them. So we need to build the ecosystem, and now that there's like interception where we creating the CFM direction and the Ton DeFi at all.
Right. Okay. So, okay, what are your estimates? Like, how will the TVL grow potentially in several months after the full launch of these two protocols?
So that's really hard. It's like a very tricky question for me.
I mean, they didn't promise it's going to be easy. Like,
yeah, I mean, I even don't know if it's good to speculate about that. But there are multiple examples to watch on DeFi Llama how new protocols like that grew.
Yeah, that's there is a thing also. So we, after the end of the competition, we need to have audits for these protocols. So
Yes.
the liquidity providers gonna be able to trust them. Then we need to have more collaboration regarding the other stable coins, for example, or the other stable assets. And that's from the one hand, let's rely on the founders of the protocols, which are going to be the winners. From the other side, let's rely on the full ecosystem and us itself, like what we are doing and how we are performing. And from the other leg, I don't want to show a leg, but there's also rely on the market, and we don't know what's going to be with the market also. And then from the other leg, there is also rely on the full economy of the world and such things like elections. So that's not only rely on us, but we will do our best.
All right. Okay, guys. No, I mean, no excitement here. You can't even provide numbers. Like, okay. We will see. The future will show us. How successful we are.
At least you can make a governance system for stablecoin swaps, and people who liked voting on US elections could continue voting on protocols.
No, yeah, exactly. That would be great. Okay, so I think we understood everything that regards like those two upcoming products. Like, very excited to see their growth. I mean, the emergence first of all, right? So you'll still need, like, we as judges will still need to pick the winners. So Michael, question to you about your future plans for Ton in general. I mean, like, apart from supporting these two talented teams, whether you want to bring your assets on
yes,
with any products.
I guess the whole reason for us is not just to create stable swap there, but to actually for Curve, apparently the biggest revenue generator for the DAO was apparently not the stable swap for the last year, but Curve stablecoin, despite its very, very small size. And we obviously want to grow its size, because even with that small size, it generated way more revenues for the DAO than anything with a similar TVL, or like even with that small TVL, it generated probably more than stablecoin swaps. But stablecoin swaps appear to be very, very important for that. And especially if we we wanted to scale this sort of yield which stablecoin can bring to different chains. And if you just bridge it doesn't really help. You need to be able to swap in and out, and that's why stable swap on other chains matters. And not just any stable swap, but you need to support yield-bearing assets. So this was why we wanted to actually oversee this process of how it gets created on Ton, to be able to support what we actually need. But apart from that, if the stable swap supports any yield-bearing assets, it works for anything like staked or whatever. So you basically get access to the whole bunch of DeFi essentially. So anyway, it kind of covers our needs to scale essentially Curve USD to other places.
Okay. We got
Also,
to the end.
There's a few participants for our competition waiting for us in a lobby, and guys, let me enter them in. So we're gonna have like 2 minutes for everyone to present the projects. And guys, I am letting you in. You can turn on your camera and your microphones, and I will moderate it one by one. So there's our participants. There's also one more participant, but we pushed this stream unexpected. And guys, first of all, thank you for joining us, and that's a pleasure to be with you guys. And I believe you are the strongest team for the CFMM direction. And I'm gonna start like one by one. So Dmitry Pintak, the Crouton Finance, could you share a few words about your protocol to us?
Yeah, thank you a lot for the word. Like, bonjour community, bonjour speakers. It's Dmitry from Crouton Finance on the line. And we are pretty impressed like how our community grows. So these numbers gives us a lot of extra energy to build everything. Like, we are progressing very fast, and we are about to launch our alpha mainnet of stable swap on this week. And I'm waiting for you all on the finals, because we are about to introduce the new way for projects to attract liquidity, the new way for Ton holders to utilize their Ton, diamondizing their hands even more. So like, we believe in our rocket, and I'm here to remind you that all of you can join our app on Telegram and farm crumbs. And don't forget to connect your wallet, because who knows, maybe you will gather these crumbs into a bigger Crouton. So thanks to the Tons and to the speakers for the time of this stream.
Thank you. So the next one is Torch Finance and 0x Ton.
Okay. Hello, nice to meet you again, Michael and Vladijan and Alina. Hello. Okay. Thanks, Ton Society and Michael, for giving me this opportunity to share with everyone. I'm 0x Ton, the founder of Torch. Earlier this year, when Tang introduced USDT, it really energized the entire Tang ecosystem. Our team saw the huge potential in the stablecoin trading on Tang. Based on our deep understanding of EVM and TVM, we jumped into develop the solutions. As a result, we won the DeFi track in the Open Lake Hackathon with our stable swap in asynchronous blockchain. At Torch, our first goal is to build a vast ecosystem around stablecoin, LST, and yield-bearing tokens. First of all, we're building an infrastructure of Tang. We have improved the curve finance algorithm and make it more scalable on amplification factor. So the algorithm itself can control the slippage based on the market conditions. Don't need to depend on the governance to adjust the A value. Second, Tang has a potential user base. Yet since it is non-EVM, it seems to be more liquidity fragmentation challenge at the beginning. We have designed mechanism to reward cross-chain yield-bearing tokens and incentivize for more stable coins migrate to Tang blockchain. Third, we're not just building a DeFi protocol, we're building an entire ecosystem. We will launch more applications on top of it. And as you can see, we just launched the first leverage of farming on Tang with a crazy 80% APR, and there will be more in the future. For the tokenomics part, we designed an EX model. That is a combination of VE33 and ESGMX model. The idea is quite simple as well. We're going to shifting the VE model entry barriers into the cost of exit, encouraging users to hold tokens instead of selling them. Our team has a deep understanding of both TVM and EVM.
That's
from Quantstamp.
Sorry to interrupt you. Yeah, like we're gonna have the live judging session for the all pitches, and you're gonna share the all details. Like for now, just guys, a small introduction of the project and a few words. So, but we're gonna have you can do the last word.
Yeah, no problem. If you're interested in us, we have a Galaxy-like mini app to reward early participant. Feel free to follow our Twitter and Telegram channel and join us.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone.
Thank you. So yeah, that was the Torch Finance. It's already live. You can check it. So the next one is the Ankush. Could you give a few words about the protocol and the idea?
Hello, everyone. Really nice to be here along with the participants and Vlad and Elena and Michael. So we are the founders of Antpools. It's a gamified staking protocol on Ton where users stake their Ton through us. We are making a USDT pool live with StoneFi partnership soon. Like that's supposed to be live this week. So we pool the user Ton, we stake it on Ton, we raffle the yield and distribute that as weekly and daily prizes for users. So on the protocol, a lot of changes are coming on how users can improve their chances to keep winning. The more they stake, the more frequently they stake, they can win big. So we're building all working on that, like optimizing it and like scaling it so that we can attract a lot more stakers on top for Ton. Before this, we started our journey in Web2 wealth management back in 2017, backed by Y Combinator Summer 17 batch. And so that was for users in India, build around $200 million in AUM there. Then 2-3 years back, started delving deeper into crypto. Like future of finance is going to be a mix of fiat plus token holders. So we have to build products for that. So experimented around it, built a time-weighted average market maker for Balancer, and a crypto rewards app for tokenized gold savings for users in India. And now really excited to build in Ton ecosystem. So like really gearing up for scale here.
Thank you for the introduction and the description. So next one is Kay at K-Tone.
So hello everyone, my name is Kay, and really pleasure here to meet you guys, especially Vlad, Alina, and Michael. I'm a big fan. So our teams consists of 20 people with more than 10 years of experience in DeFi. And in 2021, we received a grant from Solana and a new foundation for our algo or stablecoin protocol. So at the moment, we are really honored to join the contest, and our goal is to creating the most efficiency liquidity pool, matching algorithm, and ensuring the lowest fee, faster transaction with the minimal to no slippage. So our goal is for user for gamer to play DeFi. So we have already designed the onboard game to educate user about Web3. We also offer the CanFi, which will enable the user to play DeFi. And I think you are really excited with this one because we also already developed the stable web, and we're gonna launch it in this month. And we are working on the CDP, the collateralized deposition protocol, which gonna enhance the liquidity for stable web, including the Senetic protocols and stablecoin USDT, CTUSDT that gonna mean directly from CTON. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you. So we have like 5 teams right now who updated me with their projects, and that's the Torch Finance, that's the Crouton Finance, that's the Cattoon, that's the Antpools, and the Cyclone Finance. So guys, I wish you luck, and we're gonna meet in like 10 days, maybe a bit more, for a live charging session. And thank you for the participation in this live stream, and thank you for sharing a few words about your projects. And we're gonna get back to our discussion with Alona and Mikhail. So let's continue, guys. Thank you so much. I'm gonna
probably before you
yeah.
kick the guys out, Michael, if you could give some probably first-hand advice. I hate this type of questions, like, any hints, any best practices, but anyway, if you have anything to share with the guys directly, you're very welcome to do it now.
Yeah, well, I guess I guess everyone is energetic and motivated enough. So maybe just a small advice from Ethereum world that safety first, like having especially when DeFi protocols grow, having I would say any issues with them is kind of comparable to nuclear accidents with potential impact. So that's why it kind of looks simple, but it's it's very important to make everything safe. And for that, please write very, very readable code, at least for smart contracts. And of course, probably Ton Foundation would help with audits. That's actually very, very valuable. And I guess that's kind of the advice to really pay a lot of attention to safety, and check everything multiple times, and then it's going to be good.
Right. Okay, Michael, thank you so much for that. I think that was very, very important to hear it from you as a general piece of advice. Guys, thank you very much for joining us and presenting your ideas, your future projects. Excited to see your growth, and happy to help you from the foundation side in all the ways that Vlad described today during the stream. Keep in touch.
Yeah. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you.
So, welcome back.
Yeah, so let's probably wrap it up, guys. I think we discussed more or less everything, like the general perspective, the history, the future, the present. So what to say, like, we're super excited, and Michael, of course, we are happy to extend this kind of collaboration and partnership like beyond what was just discussed. beyond supporting those talented teams. So we'll be looking forward to the launch of new products from the Curve Finance team.
Yeah, absolutely.
And yeah, it would be great to find more synergy in the near future.
Yes.
We still have a few questions from the audience and from our chats. So I think it's good to uncover a few of them. So yeah, we can. We all know these questions, so I can choose a few for me and maybe ask some for you. So except USDT, will we have any other stable coins, Anton? Of course. So that's our idea, because we need these stable swaps and we need more stable coins. What stable coins means for us? Stable coins, that's the entry for the chain from any taxes and between the chains. So if you're gonna check the other DeFi ecosystem, there's like not only one stablecoin. So that's one of the goals for us too. And with the stable swaps, it's a good field to be like the base for the stablecoins. So that's the thing from my side. So also there is a question like, do we have would we have like a CRV USD on Ton? And I think there's a question for Michael.
Yeah, I guess as soon as it can be breached, it should be there. So I guess CRV USD and staked CRV USD, they actually make a lot of sense.
Okay, so we're just waiting for good bridging solutions.
True. So as I said, one needs a combination of bridging and stable swap. And from what I'm aware of, there are works on bridging, and we just need stable swap, and hopefully they arrive simultaneously.
Yeah, no, exactly. We'll see very soon, I hope.
Yes.
So the next question is like, what's chances of Ton to take the significant place for the stablecoin transfers and the whole crypto, and how Curve can help this? So I will add just a part from me. If you're gonna take any other chain, there's no connection with such a big audience like the Ton with the Telegram. And the general idea for this, there's retail users, and they have a need of like a seamless and simple and easy transfer of the stable coins. Because if we're trying to onboard them, it's better to onboard them not from the volatile assets. It's better to onboard them from the stable coins. And for us, that's the major role and a major field to build the protocols like the stable swap, of course, with help from Curve.
Yeah, and also, by the way, apart from protocols, just the use of stable coins, just transfers of stable coins is already a huge use case, as we can see with Tron and USDT on Tron, for example. I can quite see that same playbook can work for Ton.
No, but also like even on top of that, like given the pace of issuance that has been, the highest for Ton by Tether, and given all those use cases that are emerging now on Ton, given the potential of Telegram, in terms of onboarding people into very simple, very fast, very secure payments.
Right. Yeah. So it all can grow together. Yes.
So I think the final question is: if there are any other potential contents or the competitions regarding the development? So we have the hackathon upcoming, and in the hackathon we have a big DeFi track with great prizes, and the whole hackathon, there's a major hackathon in the crypto space. So regarding the hackathon, I suggest you to check It's going to be huge. We're going to launch the bootcamps around the world. And regarding our small competition, I will think more, to be honest, because this is also more like it's efficient to bring powerful teams. And the hackathon, the whole idea of the hackathon is to support the chain, to support the early builders. But maybe for the other teams which already have some traction, we might have some other approach, like these competitions with good partners. So that's from my point of view. I don't know, maybe Curve gonna launch any other competition.
Yeah, I guess we will see. It's probably our first experience like that, as I said. I mean, for like announcing a competition to as a key component to scale to a different chain, and yeah, well, was actually suggested by Ton. So very interesting approach. So I guess we will see how it works out, and very exciting.
Yeah, apparently we just love competitions on Taunt because we've been running the Open League, which is the major.
Oh, that's actually a correct way. Yes, even Ethereum, it kind of obtained a lot of projects by having hackathons, and by supporting the teams afterwards. So I think it's a very good way. Or like on Solana as well, I think a lot of that kind of activity was in the beginning. So that's
right. No, I mean for Solana, I mean we know they are really like number one for hackathons, for these like offline events. That they're doing a great job. What we're trying to do is, to create like a full flywheel where we start also with hackathons, for example, and then you heard that Torch Finance, for example, they won the previous hackathon. Now they're participating in this competition with Curve Finance, and then we have the Open League as the next logical stage. When you launch on mainnet, you can join the competition and also win like large prizes in the form of airdrops to your users, or like smart contract audit support, marketing credits, etc. So a lot of things, and we want to create this viral loop and provide like just general ecosystem support from multiple different perspectives. So okay, Vlad, do we have any more questions to discuss?
No, that was the final question. I think it's really great stream. So we remember the whole history of the Curve. We speak with the participants. We do the trick question with you.
All right. So when do we expect those products to be fully launched on mainnet?
I think very, very soon. So in a month, the Torch Finance already in the mainnet, and the others going to be very soon.
Yeah, I guess it will be determined by also audits.
Yeah, of course.
Security
so because they are safety.
Because I guess for a few it's essentially ready, but audit is a small but important piece.
No, I think that we should start arranging it.
Yeah, absolutely.
So let's start tonight. Why not?
Yeah, exactly.
Okay. All right, guys. Thank you so much for being here today. I also think it was quite a great stream. I hope the audience enjoyed it as well. Have a great evening or day, and we obviously keep in touch.
Yeah, thank you too. That was amazing, and thank you all for participation.